just decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No banks, no fees, no more 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Crypto is on the rise, making that dough in the crypto paradise. Watching it go, buying low, selling high. Riding the wave, I'm here to stay, living in the digital age. No banks, no fees, just decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No banks, no fees, no more 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Crypto is on the rise, making that dough in the crypto paradise. Watching it go, buying low, sell. No more 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Crypto is on the rise, making that dough in the crypto paradise. Watching it go, buying low, selling high. Riding the wave, I'm here to stay, living in the digital age. No banks, no fees, just decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No banks, no fees, no more 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Crypto is on the rise, making that dough in the crypto paradise. Watching it go, buying low, selling high. Riding the wave, I'm here to stay, living in the digital age. No banks, no fees, just decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No banks, no fees, no more 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. Crypto is on the rise, making that dough in the crypto paradise. Watching it go, buying low, selling high. Riding the wave, I'm here to stay, living in the digital age. No banks, no fees, just decentralized. It's crypto paradise. Ooh. No banks, no fees, no more.
What's going on, Crypto Paradise fam?
Bitcoin fixes this.
I said my cat died.
We should start teaching him cold storage.
He's not even born yet. We're gonna have to sell the house.
Totally fine. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin.
If you say that one more time, I'm gonna lose my...
Johnny told me he doesn't want to be with me anymore. Just stay humble and stack sats.
What?
Bitcoiners. Annoying since 2009, but still right.
That's right, baby. Bitcoiners, not always the most humble folks, but still right. What's going on, Crypto Paradise fam? Welcome to another midweek market update. Flying solo here today. I am Web3 Nate. If you are watching this, thanks for tuning in. If you're not watching this, I hope you're over on Coach X's stream. The Hitman is over there, Mr. Nick Hellman, doing a live stream at the same time with him. And Amaru is out with the family. We got the 4th of July weekend in America this week. So You got me. We're going to be covering some market news, some market updates. We're going to be talking about some Crypto Paradise updates with the mini app, some new partner projects. We got a whole lot in store. So if you are just getting tuned in, hit that retweet, hit the like, leave a comment. If you have something you want me to take a look at today, share it around so we can get more eyes on the live stream here today. And thank you, as always, for being a member of the Crypto Paradise family. Got all sorts of things happening here, just getting things kicked off. Coach X right here, Pulse Chain Crypto Alliance afternoon review. Let's go ahead and pop over there real quick, see what's going on there. Should have Hellman. There he is, the Hitman, going live. Pop in, say hi, say Crypto Paradise sent you over. There we go. Crypto Paradise popping in, saying hi to on the PLS, Coach X's PLS live stream there. What's going on, everybody? We've got an awesome show in store for you here today. Lots going on. If you've been following the channel, you know, come some big announcements this week. We've got two new, or I guess within the last week, we've got two new partners that we're working with. First off, the first up is RhinoFi. Now, this project, super excited about these guys. These are a really interesting DeFi project with some really interesting staking mechanisms. Reminds me of the old DeFi farming days. Oh, back in, it would have been like early 2021, we had a huge explosion of all the different DeFi farms. There was literally a new DEX popping up. They were kind of like the meme coin trend before meme coins were even around. Not to say that RhinoFi is a meme coin. They're more in the DeFi space here, but lots of really cool stuff. Now, these guys haven't launched yet. So if you are a member of the DAO, you might be getting some opportunities and some inside alpha on these guys. I believe their launch is coming up within the next week. It is going to be a fair launch on Pulse Chain. If you're not in the DAO yet, well, what are you waiting for? No time like the present. 200K gets you into the DAO. We have all sorts of alpha calls in there and unique investment opportunities. The first of which we let everybody know about over the last month or so here has been the Frontier Fund, absolutely crushing it in the first month. I think it did something like 65% for us in the first month. Second month started, I think, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And we'll be opening it up for a second round of potential investors. That is going to be within the, I think in 2 weeks or so here. You're going to need 400K surf to get into that. So if you haven't joined the DAO yet, if you want to find out about more about that, join the Telegram, the community group. Ask in there if you got 200,000 surf stacked up. We'll get you added to the DAO, and you can start mixing it up with all the surf whales, all of our OGs in the space. A lot of the guys from the TDI group carried over into the Crypto Paradise DAO. Lots of stuff, great stuff going on in there. RhinoFi is no exception to that. We're going to be having some interesting stuff, some alpha calls, some potential opportunities to get involved with RhinoFi coming up in that DAO group as well. So shout out to the RhinoFi team. These guys are doing some really interesting and unique DeFi stuff on Pulse Chain. Obviously, we're huge fans of Pulse Chain. I was pretty unfamiliar with it until we started looking into launching Surf over there. And I got to say, of any of the chains launching products right now, projects launching, Solana, I mean, you got your memes over there, but in terms of any sort of utility, there's no utility on Solana. The whole network is full of Jeets. It's really hard to get a project established there. Obviously, if you're looking for the top meme runners, you know, the Solana probably still is the GOAT chain for that. There are some good memes popping off on Pulse Chain as well. Pulse Chain, of course, you have the power of the liquidity web. A lot of the tax tokens, which we see with Surf, what happens there when we see any of the blue chips that we're tied to pumping, well, it brings Surf right up there with it. We've seen some other projects on Base, on Arbitrum, on Ethereum, BNB. All those chains are pretty quiet right now. Not a whole lot going on there. The pre-sale market in general has been dead. There hasn't been a lot of IDOs. Meanwhile, since we've gotten involved with Pulse Chain, it seems like almost every week there's a new cool project launching on there, and we're working with a ton of them. Some of them, the two newest, obviously, RhinoFi and Trebly here. Trebly on Solana for now. Yeah, lots of great stuff going on in the Pulse Chain network. Shout out to the entire ecosystem. A lot of great partners over there. They've welcomed us in with open arms, and they're doing the same with RhinoFi. RhinoFi making the rounds on all the top spaces for Pulse Chain. Get involved in the community there. And I know the Crypto Paradise and the Surf communities are going to help support them as well here. The other big announcement in terms of project partners that we've talked with is Trebly. Now, Trebly's not on Pulse Chain. They are on Solana, but they are a utility token. Now, again, not a lot of utility tokens on Solana, which is one of the reasons that got us bullish here, is to see the speed and the cost effectiveness of Solana put to work on a proper utility project. So these guys are leveraging AI to create 3D images, which you might say, okay, cool, NFTs are dead. This goes far beyond NFTs. So what these guys do with Trebly, you can go on their platform and use an image, show your favorite NFT, a picture of yourself, whatever it happens to be. You can use AI tools to generate images. In fact, they have their own image generation tools here on the site that you can check out. Pretty sweet tech here. You can do text to 3D. You can do image generation just like you would with any of the other GPT models out there. You can turn those images then into 3D models. And those 3D models, you can use them in creating videos, or my personal favorite, in many video games. You can adopt and add these files in here to create your own 3D characters, right? So if you want to play as your favorite NFT, your favorite avatar, or even as yourself, the Trebly tech allows you to do that. Super cool project. And very easy to use and cheap to use. I'm working on a video right now. I created 2 or 3 different images just based off an NFT. If you've seen my page, I can pull it up here. I'm a big fan of the Wassies, and I've had a couple custom Wassies made. It's my current profile picture there. Shout out to Backstitch. He made that for me. You can commission him to make a custom Wassie for you. Shout out to him. I'll find him here. You can, where is he? Anyways, I'll pull him up in a minute, but, yeah, you create a custom Wassie for you. So I created my own avatars. Now I can use that 3D image to play games, any of the games I want to, as my own avatar with my own custom Wassie there. Really cool stuff. Absolutely. Love what those guys are doing. A lot of cool tech coming out, and again, love to see that on Solana because they don't have a lot of, here we go, they don't have a lot of utility plays on Solana at the moment. If you do want to get your own custom Wassie made, Backsketch, hard to pronounce, we'll do it. I think he's got deals going. It's like a quarter of a soul or half a soul or 1 soul. I don't remember what it is, but not a ton of money. You can get your own custom Wassie made. He makes tons of them, as you can see here. Got his own art style, pretty fun stuff. Anyways, obviously he's, nothing to do with Crypto Paradise. I'm a big fan of the Wassies, and he's made a couple of those memes for me. But shout out to Trebly and shout out to RhinoFi. Welcome to the Crypto Paradise family. If you haven't checked them out yet, go give them a follow. Study up on what they're doing. Going to be some great opportunities. We gave the call on Trebly, I think, back at around like 80K or even 70K market cap, pumped all the way up to like 350K. So quick over 3x there for anybody that got in on that initial call. Again, the very first call would have been in the DAO groups. If you're not in the DAO, that's where you want to be for those earliest alpha calls and the best chance to get in on these early runners. These guys obviously have a ton of potential, still a tiny market cap of around 200K right now. So even going to $1 million, 2 million, you're looking at 5-10x there. So a lot of potential here. Love what those guys are doing. We have an interview that just came out with the Trebly guys. If you want to check that out, that is on the main page here. Where is it? Right here. Here we go. Check out everything that's going on with Trebly right there. Watch this interview. 30 minutes, throw it on 2x if you want to blaze through it, or maybe just watch it on your lunch break there at work. But tell you all about what's going on with their token, with their tech, and how they're getting more involved with NFTs, gaming, and more with their AI-powered 3D rendering. RhinoFi, we've done multiple interviews with these guys. You can also find their latest interview. We did a live stream right here. You can go back and check out. They've been on a couple spaces with us. Hellman's got a great video here on the Trebly tech as well, but definitely go check these 2 projects out. You can see here's a 3D rendering of the surf coconut right there. Love it. Super high quality graphics. And again, we can take this, we could drop it into any number of Web3 games and then play as a surf coconut. Very cool stuff. But yeah, show them some love from the Crypto Paradise community. Go check out give them a follow on the social profiles, join their Telegram groups, start mixing it up, and see what's, going on with those 2 new projects. Before we hop into some news stories, let's take a quick look here at the market. Overall market cap down a little bit. 3.4 trillion. I think our peak all time was back in November, right around the election. We hit 3.7 trillion. Most recently here, ran it back up to 3.5, now just down a little bit. But overall, kind of the theme of today is the market is just looking like it's ready to absolutely explode. Now, does that mean we're up only from here? Of course not. We may see, further dips here in the short term. We've kind of been in this range for a while between, about 100K and that 110, 112K range there with a few wicks above and below each side there. But if you've been watching each and every week, all we are seeing is story after story after story of Bitcoin adoption, of top altcoin adoption, of new regulation passing, nation states adopting Bitcoin. Everything is gearing up for an absolute blow off top. I've been talking about a few things that we need to see for these markets to really start running, one of which was a tariff stuff to get settled, as we'll look at some stories here today. Tariffs are pretty much done, and they're doing their job. They're bringing a ton of revenue into the U.S. They also have brought in over $13 trillion in direct investment into the U.S. A lot of that's going to be used for any number of different industries, including the Web3 and crypto industry, to help boost the overall economy. If you're not from America, that's still going to benefit you. As we all know, the U.S. is the leading economy of the world, and most of the world's major economies follow closely with the U.S. economy, which is what made the tariff talk such a big deal in the first place. One of the other factors we were talking about is the wars. Hopefully, the Israeli-Iran conflict is settled and squashed, at least for the time being. That's a multi-thousand-year old dispute, but hopefully we see some lasting peace here with that. The Russia-Ukraine conflict, again, a lot of talks going on between Putin and Trump, calling for ceasefires, trying to get that figured out. Hopefully that is going to come to a peaceful conclusion very soon. That will give the markets a lot of stability and confidence. And the third and final aspect is the interest rates, especially in the U.S. Interest rates getting very, very close. They are talking about cutting interest rates in July. In fact, let's see what the current bid rates are on whether or not that happens here. Let's go ahead and take a look at rate cuts July on Polymarket. Let's see what we're up to right now. Could be as early as July. This is an hour ago. As of this morning, Polymarket now pricing in his second rate cuts at plus 140. 3 cuts, it's at 335. So looking for the July rate cut here. 25% chance of a rate cut in July. That would be absolutely massive. Now, if we start hearing some more news, I believe the FOMC meeting is on the 19th. Let's check it out here. Investing.com. It's where we have our calendar. We did a video on this a while back. And check out how to, where is it? Economic calendar. Investing.com. Here we go. Why it doesn't want to load up for us. I believe it's on the 19th. As we hear, let's go July 19th. Thursday. Where's the FOMC? FOMC meeting minutes on the 10th. Where's the actual FOMC meeting? And rate cuts. Might be later in the month, but we do have a FOMC coming up here in July. Keep an eye on the news for this, and we'll be covering this next week again as well. As we get closer, we're going to find out a little bit more about what's going on. What will really have the biggest effect on the markets is if we see some sort of surprise. If we come into the FOMC meeting with, a 25% chance, there'll be a lot of discussion, yes or no. And if they come out and surprise everyone, say, hey, we're cutting in July, markets will absolutely rip. If they give us leading information indicating they're going to cut ahead of time, markets will probably front run that. And then if they don't, expect a major dump back down. But if not July, there is no meeting in August. So the next one would be September, and September would be almost programmed in. I think there's already a 75% chance on Kalshi and Poly markets for a rate cut in September. So it is coming. The markets are starting to react and to build up, and we're seeing institutions buying like crazy. Germany's largest bank coming in, opening up retail services for accounts. We've seen this already happen in America with JP Morgan and a number of other banks. What else do we have here? Lots and lots of news we'll cover here in a minute. on the Bitcoin gearing up for what is setting out to be an absolutely phenomenal, probably into this year, maybe even into next year. But first, it's not just Bitcoin that is ripping. We've talked in the last couple of weeks here about the Ethereum strategic reserve, and look at the inflows coming on Ethereum. Absolutely crushing everything else. I don't know what's going on with Base. Base is bleeding like crazy. But Ethereum inflows absolutely just dominate even Bitcoin inflows. And we've seen tons and tons of money flowing into Bitcoin. But Ethereum, just in this last week here, $1.6 billion flowing into ETH in the last 7 days. People are gearing up. These institutions are buying not just Bitcoin now, they're buying Ethereum. We've seen NASDAQ listed companies now for both Hyperliquid and BitTensor opening up strategies similar to MicroStrategy to accumulate and take advantage of these gains that are upcoming with a potential alt, which has sparked my theory that, we may see an institutionally led alt season this year. We have all, NASDAQ listed companies, major funds, major, institutional players coming in and buying these top alts. Ethereum, we might see things like ADA, Solana. I would not be surprised if we see a lot of those top coins getting their own MicroStrategy type buying approach from top listed NASDAQ type companies and institutions, trying to kind of maximize their returns here for the end of the year. Because obviously Bitcoin's going to do well, especially by traditional market standards. But if Bitcoin does a 2 or 2.5, a 3x, whatever it happens to be through the end of this cycle, Ethereum's probably going to do a 5 to 10x, and some of the other alts might do even more than that. So people are starting to position themselves to maximize these altcoin games that are going to be coming at some point. We've all been waiting for a long time for an alt season. This may be the impetus that finally gets us there. Instead of a retail FOMO led alt season, we might see an institutionally led alt season, which, boys and girls, hold on to your butts if that happens, because we are going to absolutely rip. Of course, then we'll see the FOMO trickle into retail, and retail will come chasing after institutions. So if you're here now, you are in a very, very good spot. You are far from being late. We are still early, boys and girls. Moving on, talking a bit about the tariff news, as we mentioned before. Tariffs doing the job that the Trump administration set them out to do. $121 billion in tariff revenue already collected, expecting another $27 billion increase in June. If we start seeing this continue to grow month after month after month as more of these deals get done, that is going to bring a lot of money into the economy, and it's going to quash a lot of these fears that people had for these tariffs. These tariffs also are going to be settled in 2 days. Trump coming out and very clearly stating, if you do not have a deal done with us by the 9th, we're going to dictate the deal and you're going to have to abide by it, or you're not going to have an opportunity to participate in the trade. He's going to kind of lay down the law and say, you've lost your ability to negotiate at this point. Now, whether he will stick strict to that, or this is, again, another negotiation tactic to bring people to the table, we will see. But pretty much everybody has come to the table. China deal is supposedly done. The Canada deal is getting even closer. In fact, they came back with even better terms for the U.S. After some tough negotiations with the Trump administration. European deal is done. Most of the big deals that were causing most of the market FUD are either concluded or will be very, very shortly, with what's looking like very good terms for the U.S. So hopefully the tariff FUD and fear is behind us. Other news today, probably the biggest story here is RWA absolutely starting to explode. One of the biggest sectors of RWA that we've been talking about is tokenizing U.S. equities. More than 60 U.S. equities are now tradable on Kraken, on Coinbase, and even on Solana dexes like Jupiter. That means you can now go trade Fartcoin for NVIDIA, for Tesla, for any of the other top stocks that are now listed on these different exchanges. And they're also trading 24/5, not 24/7 yet. That means that you are seeing 24-hour trading of stocks, which doesn't exist and has not existed to this point. That is going to create a very interesting dynamic in a couple ways. We're going to see the CME gaps, which is the difference between when the markets are closed and when for example, CME gap on Bitcoin, when Bitcoin's 24/7, and when the Chicago Stock Exchange closes for the day or for the weekend, it creates a gap in the pricing. The gap is traded many different ways. It's an indicator that a lot of people use in predicting which way the markets are going to move. Now that we have 24-hour trading of U.S. equities, that's going to create these CME gaps on a lot of different assets. Not only that, but it's going to create a lot more volatility within these CME gaps as they're traded 24/7 on the crypto exchanges while they are not on the TradFi exchanges. Another and probably the more important dynamic, because these are now traded on Kraken, Coinbase, Jupiter, it's opening up buyers in markets that never had the opportunity to buy these stocks before. That means people in countries all around the world are now going to have access to Netflix, to Nvidia, to Tesla, etc., where they weren't being able to buy previously. It's opening up huge new capital markets. It's going to bring not only potential boost to these stocks, but think about the transaction and on-chain volume that's going to drive. Absolutely going to be a game changer. This is only going to continue to develop. We probably will see 24/7 trading of these stocks at some point. We're going to see things outside of that. As this establishes the credibility and legitimacy of blockchain and RWA, we're going to see more and more assets coming online. Not just collectibles. We're going to see real estate online very, very soon, or excuse me, on chain very, very soon. RWA is probably becoming one of the hottest and fastest growing sectors. We've been talking about it for a while, but it seems this might be the catalyst which finally sends RWA through the rest of this cycle here. So definitely an asset class to keep your eyes on. If you are one of the traders that likes to follow different sectors within crypto, RWA should be at the very top of your list, along with probably AI, DeFi, and a couple others. So really, really cool stuff here. Get out there. You can swap your fart coin or any of the other Solana shitters into some real US stocks. Very cool stuff, guys. Very exciting stuff. Oh, and the other aspect of this, I forgot to mention, aside from bringing in new capital markets that didn't have access to these stocks before, what this is going to mean is that all the trading teams at these big trading desks on Wall Street and all around the world that previously only had to work between the hours of, I think it's like 8:30 and 4:30 in the US, something along those lines, and off on the weekends. Now they're competing with people that can trade 24 hours a day for 5 days a week. That means that brings in a whole new dynamic. They're going to have to create new strategies and entirely new teams that are going to be trading not on the traditional markets, but be trading on blockchain. Again, bringing massive new amounts of volume on chain to these exchanges, to Solana, to Jupiter. Guys, this is absolutely revolutionary for our industry. Can't stress enough how incredible this is going to be, and the repercussions of this are going to be very serious in a positive manner. So very, very cool stuff. Huge breaking story in the last week here. What else do we got? More Bitcoin adoption. Semiconductor company, $384 million to buy Bitcoin. Now, I'm not sure if they're buying spot, if they're taking a MicroStrategy approach, but again, a Bitcoin adoption can't be bad. SEC approves Grayscale for their ETF plans on Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and ADA. Again, we're not just seeing Bitcoin and Ethereum anymore. XRP, Solana, ADA. This trend is going to continue to happen. I am very, very bullish on the theory of an institutionally driven altcoin market this year. We never give financial advice here, but if you're paying attention to the markets, now might be a good time to start DCAing and picking up some of your top conviction, top alt plays, as this stuff is only heating up. When we get rate cuts, when we get money printing, these markets are set to absolutely fly. China. A lot of China rumors. We've heard China rumors before. We've seen what happens when China enters the market. Chinese public company, TF Security Stock Exchange, surges 30% after obtaining a license to trade Bitcoin and crypto. If we see a mass onboarding of the Chinese market again, we know what happens to Bitcoin. We know what happens to a lot of those alts. China is a huge market. Their currency is pretty defunct, much like we see in many markets, like the story we talked about last week with Turkey. People want to get out of these currencies that are inflating, that are suffering through hyperinflation. Bitcoin and crypto is a way to get out of that. So if we see China on board, that's just another positive catalyst for this upcoming bull market here, or the continuation, I guess, of the bull market. National Bank of Kazakhstan working on establishing a Bitcoin crypto reserve. There's the obligatory Borat picture that everyone knew was going to be there as soon as they heard Kazakhstan. But again, following the trend, the Bitcoin arms race is in full effect. It's going from a cold race to a hot race. I think the impetus for that is going to be when the U.S. starts to buy Bitcoin. They've already got the strategic reserve established, but that was with existing Bitcoin that they already had. when they start buying, the rest of the world, every other nation state, every enterprise level player, NASDAQ listed companies, institutional funds, everybody is going to be cashing in every penny they can to front run Uncle Sam. We hear people talk all the time about $1 million Bitcoin. Well, this is how you get there, with nation states and with the top funds in the world, with the top traded companies in the world, all scrambling to buy the limited supply of what Bitcoin is out there. I know there's only 21 million Bitcoin, but we all know, I think something like 5 million of those are already thought to be permanently lost. And then you have to consider the supply crunch. There's not a lot of Bitcoin on the exchanges right now. There's not a lot of Bitcoin up for grabs. And there's a lot of people trying to grab it. So we again, I can't stress enough. I mean, we've got coffee companies. Spain's top coffee company, a publicly traded company, is buying $1 billion in Bitcoin. What does it have to do with coffee? Well, what it has to do with coffee is that everyone around the world understands what Bitcoin is now. They're understanding the financial power of Bitcoin. They're understanding that it's the fastest appreciating asset class in history in the last, 10, 15 years, and is going to continue to be probably for the next 10 or 20 years. So everybody and their dog getting in on this Bitcoin trend here. Well, almost everybody. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon continues to FUD Bitcoin, saying in 10 years it will be closed down. Now, how much of this is an act? Jamie Dimon is not a stupid man, and he's happy to play the heel online if it helps to enrich him and his company. JP Morgan, we've covered stories on them. They're opening up their accounts, letting their account holders in the U.S. You can go to the banks. I don't know if it's fully implemented, but it's now legal for them to go in and you can buy and custody Bitcoin in your bank account. I've seen this with all bank accounts recently with the new SEC, or that was the Fed, that allowed that or said that is now not going to be a problem for banks to do that. So JP Morgan was one of the first ones to hit the airwaves, announcing they were going to make that available to their 90,000 branches. On top of that, JP Morgan also is well underway to launch their own stable coin. We talked about that last week. So while the CEO might be fudding it, I would imagine that JP Morgan has a huge bag of Bitcoin holding. I would imagine Jamie Dimon himself also has a huge bag of Bitcoin holding. Why he's playing the heel is anybody's guess, probably fudding the price to get himself better entry, amongst other things. But lots of positive stuff going on there. Don't let the haters hate. Make sure you are getting trusted sources on when and why to buy your Bitcoin. And finally, last story here I wanted to cover is what we talked about earlier. What is going to be the ultimate catalyst to absolutely send us into the stratosphere is the U.S. government's accumulation plan to buy Bitcoin. They have been hinting at this since Donald Trump was running a year ago back at Bitcoin Nashville, talking about creating the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, which they have done now. But the big question mark that is still overhanging is, when is the U.S. government going to start buying? They have an unlimited budget. They have a blank checkbook. When and how much is the question on everybody's minds. When they buy, people that front ran like Vanity Coffee, Kazakhstan's government, Chinese and American investors, everybody is going to be very, very happy when Uncle Sam gets in the game. That is the ultimate bag buyer and probably bag holder. They're not going to be flipping this. This is something they're going to be putting in the treasury and holding for probably multiple decades. So some serious diamond hands there. So that is what I got for you today, guys. A little bit shorter of a live stream as I am flying solo here today. Thank you for joining. If you have, I was going to cover the mini app as well. We've just updated the mini app. I'm unable to pull it up here on the live stream for whatever reason. Maybe I'll work on that for next week or record a video, but it's got a bit of a facelift. You'll see the tasks in there look much nicer. There's links available within there. Raffles the same. We can now embed video. We can now have images in there. We can now put the full text that previously we had to put in the Telegram channel for people to go and check out how to get involved with these different competitions directly in the competition on the mini app itself. You can link straight out to where you need to go. A lot of cool stuff. We upgraded the capabilities of the direct messaging app. And a whole lot more. So if you haven't checked out the mini app lately, get back in there. There is new daily tasks. Right now, you can earn up to 300 Crypto Paradise points a day. Those are going to be used for all different types of raffles, guys. We've given away a ton of money at this point, and we are going to start doing raffles again very soon, maybe even with some of those projects we talked about earlier today. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, as well as some surf tokens. If you haven't gotten your hands on the mini app yet, make sure to download that. The link is in our Telegram. Right at the top, you'll see our links to our different social apps. The Telegram mini app is in there as well. Get in there, start racking up points, get your daily streak going, play some mini games, engage with our partner projects to earn points via social media, liking, sharing, retweeting, and the like, and turn that into some cold hard crypto in the meantime. All right, guys, that is it for us today. As always, like, share, comment, retweet. It helps the algorithms push us to more people, which helps us get more clients, which helps us give more back to you guys. If you haven't checked out the Crypto Paradise DAO, you need 200,000 surf tokens to get in there. We've had some great alpha. Another we had a 3.5x call just a week ago. RhinoFi is going to be the next opportunity, as well as the Frontier Fund, both coming here in July. And until next time, we'll see you on the beach.